Okay, so good day once again, students, and we are already at the last lesson of Module 3 or the analysis of financial statements. And this time, the topic will be about the trend analysis and the DuPont equation. Okay, so we'll now proceed to the lesson proper. Okay, so in lesson 2, by the way, we discussed about ratio analysis, wherein our analysis is actually vertical in nature. When I say vertical, kung babalikan natin yung data, vertical in the sense that we are considering the data vertically, yung pag ganito, 'di ba? Say for example, for the net profit margin, we divide net income by net sales, 'di ba? So yung analysis natin dito is pataas na vertical, ganyan. In the trend analysis, another way of analyzing a financial statements is horizontal naman. Horizontal in the sense that you are to analyze data from you are to compare data from one period to another period or from one period to another period. Several periods yung pwede mong i-compare. So that is trend analysis. So as per definition, trend analysis is an analysis of a firm's financial ratios over time. So pag sinabi nating over time, there will be several periods that you will have to compare or to analyze. So it is important to analyze trends in ratios as well as their absolute levels because trends give clues as to whether a firm's financial condition is likely to improve or deteriorate. Oo nga naman, di ba? So say for example, i-compare mo yung 2015 hanggang 2020, tingnan mo yung, say for example, return on equity of a specific firm. So malalaman mo kung tumaas ba or bumaba. So it will give you a clue whether possibly tataas ba or bababa or mag-i-improve ba yung condition or yung operation ng company or magde-deteriorate. So it is very important in decision making because it will give you it will give you an answer whether it is safe to invest in that particular company or not. Okay, so among others, isa 'yun sa mga importanteng tinitingnan kasi if you are an investor, pipiliin mo talaga yung company na pag lalagyan mo ng assets mo or yung resources mo. Kasi if you are to invest in a company na palugi, wala din mapupuntahan, 'di ba? So madadamay pa yung resources mo. Okay, so to do a trend analysis, simply plot a ratio over time. Or kung walang ratio, computein mo yung ratio. Okay, so alam naman natin paano i-compute yung ratio based on lesson 2. So if walang ratio na ibinigay, you need to compute for the ratio and then plot that in a graph. Okay, so pwede mo i-graph or i-chart and then do the comparison, do the analysis, okay? So for example, in the figure here, the ratio is return on equity. 'Di ba? Return on equity, we have discussed this in lesson 2 in which the formula is net income over average total stockholders equity or total equity. Okay? So in this illustration, you can see that the ROE, itong red, I mean, is 14% in year 2004, naging 16% in 2005. So nag-increase from 2004 to 2005, nag-increase and it is above the industry average. Kung titingnan nyo itong green na line, the green line or the green graph, in 2004 and 2005, it is below the the average of the company or the ROE of the company. By the way, ang company natin dito is si Allied, okay? Allied Company. So, mas mataas si Allied Company in 2004 and 2005 as compared to the industry average. So, safe mag-invest, no? Kung titingnan mo, mas mataas siya sa industry average. So, you can conclude that okay, mag-invest ako dito. However, in the succeeding years, pagdating ng 2006, yung ROE ni Allied is lower or mas bababa sa industry average. And the same case pa rin sa 2007 and 2008. So, anong gagawin mo? What will be your conclusion for this? Meaning to say, the operation of Allied company has deteriorated or has declined. So basically, maapektuhan din yung condition ni Allied. So it could be if magpapatuloy ito, then depende na. We will also check the income statement kung gaining pa ba or losing na, and then we can come up with a conclusion. But basically, based on this, kung ikaw yung investor, I would didn't be investing to Allied company. So, ano yung makukuha natin ng mga decisions when we are to analyze financial data through the years using the trend analysis. Okay, so among others, pwede mong gamitin ito whether you will invest in the said company or not, and whether you will put up your own company and join the same industry. So ano man, depende po na sa imong resources. If your resources is just enough for investing in another company, then you may or you may not, depending on your analysis. Pero kung malaki yung resources mo, nya and then nakita mo na profitable yung industry na ito, then you may decide to put up your own company in the same industry and compete with the others. Okay, so ito yung purpose ng trend analysis class. Actually, analysis of financial statements is what I've said in lesson 1 pa yata at saka in lesson 2. Ang purpose talaga nito is for your decision making. Okay, so that you may be able to decide on a particular decision. Okay, mo invest ba ka or dili, magnegosyo ba ka or dili, so on and so forth. Okay, so that is trend analysis. Now we will proceed to the DuPont equation. So what is DuPont equation? Actually, this is another ratio analysis pa rin. Okay, this is another ratio analysis pero specifically focus siya sa return on equity. Okay, class, bakit malaki yung emphasis ng return on equity in terms of analysis of financial statements? Ganito kasi yan. When you are planning to invest in a particular company, magiging shareholder ka. Tama? Or magiging stockholder ka. So ano yung return mo? Dividends. So, return on equity is, ano siya, di ba? Net income over average total stockholders equity or shareholders equity. Take note that your investment is part of the total stockholders equity. Okay? So, 'di ba ganito yung formula kung babalikan natin yung lesson 2, we will go back to the return on equity. That is, okay, ROE is equal to net income divided by average total equity. And remember na pag sinabi natin total equity, investments na siya sa mga tag-iya. Okay? So, ito yung stockholders equity, di ba? Ito yung shares. These are the shares. Okay, common stock. Ito yung common stock. These are the shares. Take note na pag mag-invest ka, for example, if you will become an investor of ABC Company, di ba si ABC Company man ito, if you'll become an investor of ABC Company, yung investment mo ay magiging bahagi nito. Okay, magiging bahagi nito. So when we compute for the return on equity, actually, yung average total equity, if you are an investor, yung investment mo ay magiging part ng average total equity. So yung kinocompute na return on equity, part kanyan if you are an investor. That will tell you kung magkano yung magiging return mo from ABC company. So that is why malaki yung emphasis na binibigay natin sa ROE, because it will tell investors and potential investors as to whether their investment is safe or whether it is safe to invest in that particular company. So kaya sa DuPont equation, we will analyze the return on equity based on several indicators. Okay, so based on several indicators. So DuPont equation, as per definition, is a useful technique used to decompose the different drivers of return on equity. Again, focus siya sa return on equity. So, different drivers or different indicators. So, ano naman ito sila? So, first, we'll continue the definition. The decomposition of ROE allows investors to focus on key metrics of financial performance. Okay, titingnan mo. Financial performance, we're talking about income statements. Ano yung makikita mo dito doon? Sales at saka the net income. Di ba? Net income, kung titingnan natin dito sa formula, the net income is actually the numerator in computing the ROE. So, financial performance. So, what are the three major financial metrics or yung indicators na sinasabi or drivers natin? We have the operating efficiency, we have the asset use efficiency, so asset management, and the financial leverage. Okay, so operating efficiency, doon yun sa profitability. Okay, so we will analyze the the return on equity using the DuPont equation based on these three major financial metrics. Okay, so see operating efficiency, we will be using the net profit margin when we talk about operating efficiency. Okay, so for the operating efficiency, we will use the net profit margin which is equal to net income over net sales. 'Di ba? Yan yung formula in lesson 2. Okay? Just review lesson 2 or sige, puntahan na lang natin the net profit margin so that we will also have a review. Profitability ratio yan siya. Okay, sa baba pala. Ito. The net profit margin or the profit margin ito. Net profit margin or the profit margin ito siya. Net income or profit over net sales or sales. Okay? Then, the next one is the asset usage. Di ba? Ano yun? The asset use efficiency. In which, sa asset use efficiency, the formula that we are going to use is the total asset turnover. Okay? Total asset turnover which is equal to, ano nga yung total asset turnover? This is net sales over average total asset. Okay, so take note of this. And then for the last metric that we are to use is the equity multiplier. So ito yung sa leverage naman. Okay, sa leverage na ano na part, the financial leverage. Kasi nga, 'di ba, in chapter and in lesson 2, when we talk about debt to equity ratio, 'di ba, yun yung leverage, yun yung structure, yun yung sinasabi ko nga it's not bad na mangutang for as long as magamit mo ng mabuti yung inutang mo. If it will improve the operations, it will improve the income and the sales of the company, then you are using debt effectively. So, leverage yung concept niyan. Okay, so dito sa financial leverage, the ratio that we are going to use is the equity multiplier. And the formula for equity multiplier is average total asset divided by average total equity. Okay? So, basically, this will result to ROE. Na yung basic formula ng ROE natin in the previous lesson is net income over average total equity. Pero dito sa DuPont equation, we will analyze this based on the three indicators, namely operating efficiency, asset use efficiency, and the financial leverage. Okay, so will this yield the same result? The same kaya yung result nito? Okay, maximize ko yung Excel class for our analysis purposes, okay? So, maximize ko yung Excel. Okay, palakihin natin konti. Okay, so first, latag natin. Kasi itong tatlong metrics class, kailangan mo i-multiply yan to get the ROE. So, ROE is equal to net profit margin times total asset turnover, the second indicator, and times the last indicator, the equity multiplier. Bakit EQ ito? Sorry. This should be EM. Okay, equity multiplier. Okay, compare natin tong dalawa. 'Di ba? This is what we've learned in lesson 2 and this is based on the DuPont equation. Okay, latag natin. NPM is, as what I've said, or as given, the net profit margin, na laman din natin to sa module 2, lesson 2,